Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Our previous tutorial on Tarteel was creating a goal. Now, inshallah, we're getting even more specific. We're going to show you guys how to create a review goal on the Tarteel app, inshallah ta'ala. Setting review goals can be as important, if not more important, than setting memorization goals, inshallah. As many mashayikh and teachers of Qur'an will say, it's really valuable advice, inshallah, that make sure that when you're memorizing lots of Qur'an, inshallah, that you don't just forget or you just neglect what you've memorized already. It's like building a tall skyscraper and then you're just adding more and more levels, but the foundations, if it's built on weak foundations, that skyscraper eventually is going to get too heavy on the top and it's going to collapse, inshallah. So make sure that as you're going on and you're setting memorization goals, inshallah, that you also have review goals that you're setting so that the foundations are being reinforced, are being strengthened, inshallah, as you continue growing on that journey, bi'idhnillah. And to evidence this, inshallah, Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, he said, تعاهدوا القرآن فوالذي نفسي بيده لهو أشد تفصيا من الإبل في عقولها. He sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he said, تعاهدوا القرآن, be committed to the Qur'an. By the one in whose hand is my soul, it can leave you faster than a camel from its reins, subhanallah. And the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, he didn't just use any word for commit or make a promise to the Qur'an. He said ta'ahadu. Ta'ahadu, subhanallah, this word the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, he used for commitment, which signifies making a promise with responsibility, with accountability. And that's why upon opening your goal section within a Tarteel app, inshallah, and starting your custom goal, you'll see the first section is setting your intention. Making an intention, a promise to yourself for the goal that you're about to set, inshallah. After setting a goal name, you come up with a goal name, inshallah, whatever you want to call it. If you want to call it your daily wird or your weekly wird, for example, or whatever name, inshallah ta'ala, you want to call it accountability, Qur'an accountability, review. On the action section, I want you all, inshallah, to select I intend to review, inshallah. So in that section, you're going to select a review and we're going to work our way down, inshallah. This is where we set the specifics of the review portion. So pay attention, inshallah ta'ala. So when it comes to reviewing, a student of Qur'an is recommended, if they want their Qur'an to be solid, like the whole Qur'an, everything they know to be like Surah Al-Fatiha. And if I tested any of you guys on Surah Al-Fatiha, I'm sure it'd be really easy. We can recite that surah in our sleep pretty much because we repeat it so many times. But if you want everything you know to be as strong as Surah Al-Fatiha, then a student of Qur'an's recommended to complete everything they know on a weekly basis at a minimum 10 days. Minimum, they complete everything they know on a 10-day basis, inshallah ta'ala. But that does take time to build up to. So you can't go from revising, everything you know in a month to doing that in a week. Not necessarily, right? It's quite a big jump. So we have to build up to that. For this video, inshallah ta'ala, we'll assume that we're revising what we know on a weekly basis. That's the goal, inshallah. That's what we want to build up to. So in this example, let's say we've memorized Juz Amma currently. So let's follow along in our app, inshallah. We've memorized Juz Amma, and that means for our portion, we'll select all of. Then for range, we'll select Juz, and then the number, Juz 30, inshallah. Juz Amma is Juz 30, inshallah. Upon selecting the Juz, the app will open up to a list of all the surahs, and we will head to Surah 78, which is Surah An-Naba, the first surah of the Juz, inshallah. And the app also identifies for us which side of the page the surah is. So not only is that a cool feature, but it's also essential to pick up on your Qur'an journey. Knowing what side of the page a particular surah appears or a particular ayah appears will help you with what you've memorized. It will help you better recall what you've memorized, inshallah ta'ala, and picture what you're reading, inshallah ta'ala. Really helpful in Taraweeh and really helpful in your salahs when you're reciting to be able to see it in your head, inshallah. Now we'll click confirm, and for schedule, we'll select every 1 week. You can also decide your schedule in measurements of specific days, times, or even dates, inshallah, depending on what your goal is, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. Now we're going to scroll past the advanced settings, which we already covered in a previous tutorial, so please go check that out, inshallah, within our creating goals tutorial. Please do have a look at that on our channel, inshallah ta'ala, so you know how to utilize the advanced settings section, inshallah. At the bottom of the page under preview your plan, you'll see the exact amount of Qur'an that you need to complete on a daily basis in order to smash your goal, inshallah. Not just hit your goal, smash it, inshallah. In this case, it will show us 7 sessions for the 7 days of the week, which is roughly 3.3 pages per day. And it will also show you, inshallah, the day by which you'll finish or complete your goal. So if I set this goal on a Monday, inshallah, it will show Tuesdays when we finish the goal by bi'idhnillah. But if, like many of my own students and many people memorizing the Qur'an, if you've memorized, and you might be watching this and thinking, I've memorized Juz Amma, but the difficult thing is I haven't memorized the next Juz after that. I've memorized like random different passages throughout the Qur'an, which aren't like in line or in any particular chronological order. If you'd like to also incorporate that in your review schedule, review goal, inshallah, then I want you guys to listen up for this feature because this is exactly what you've been looking for. Scroll up to where it says range, and if you've done exactly what I've shown you so far, you'll have Juz in the first section. So by tapping on juz, head to the final selection on the list titled multiple ranges. This is where it gets really, really interesting, inshallah. So you'll be met with a box prompting you to add range, which you can select just underneath, inshallah. Many of my own students who've memorized Juz Amma, they've also memorized, for example, Surah Al-Kahf, Surah Al-Rahman, and we'll imagine in this case, inshallah, that you memorize Surah Al-Kahf. And as you know, Juz Amma is like at the end of the Qur'an, it's the last juz, but Surah Al-Kahf is like all the way in the middle. So Surah Al-Kahf spans across juz 15 and 16. It's not in a particular order, right? You skip so many Surah Al-Kahf all the way to Juz Amma. So we'll use that example. So let's add a range and select chapter, which will then lead us to the surah names, inshallah. I'm going to select chapter 18, which is Surah Al-Kahf, and we're going to click confirm. You still have the option to add another range, inshallah ta'ala. So let's see our original range of Juz Amma, Juz 30. Click confirm, and there we have it. You've now created your goal. You'll still have the option to add another range, inshallah. So let's say, for example, you've not only memorized Surah Al-Kahf, maybe you memorized Surah Al-Rahman or Surah Yasin or some of these other famous surahs from the Qur'an, and you want to add it, inshallah, you can also add another portion or another range, inshallah ta'ala. And there we have it. We have Juz 30 and Surah Al-Kahf. Click confirm, and bi'idhnillah, you've now created your goal. It's encompassing all the parts of the Qur'an that you memorized, which, inshallah ta'ala, you'll be completing on a weekly basis, inshallah. Scroll to the bottom of the screen and we see our daily amount of pages laid out for us, alhamdulillah. So by tapping view customized plan, you'll receive a breakdown of what you should be reviewing on a daily basis. You don't need to do any mathematical equations, try and do any division, subtractions, work out how many pages you need to do on a daily basis. It's there for you. It's all planned to the decimal point, inshallah. So we'll press and hold our thumb to commit to our goal, inshallah. And again, we reach the end of setting our review goal. So we're holding our finger down, reminding ourselves of the intention. It's sort of like a full circle moment, the beginning to the end, and remembering that the intention and the commitment, our ta'ahud of the Qur'an, which Prophet ﷺ told us to ensure we have. And I want everyone, inshallah, to make sure that within themselves, when setting this goal, that they realize and internalize the fact that this isn't a light step in your journey. It's not a light thing. It's not a small step. It's only by the favor of Allah Azza wa Jal that He allowed you to reach this far in your review journey, to have that mindset, to want to review and make that ahd with the Qur'an, inshallah. And lastly, inshallah ta'ala, before we conclude, remember, a structure, tower, skyscraper, no matter how grand it may appear, if it's built on weak foundations, will one day crumble, subhanallah. So let's ensure that we build our grand Hifz journey, inshallah, on the most solid of foundations, bi'idhnillah, by ensuring that we commit ourselves to the review of His speech, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Jazakumullah khair. Let us know if you found the tutorial beneficial, inshallah, what other features you'd like to see us do a tutorial on. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.